Hello everybody, welcome to the channel and also welcome back to the shed. Obviously with the current situation can't really move around that much, so trying to think of a few things to do while we're sat here in the house. The next video that's going to air is going to be a continuation of one of the older videos actually. It's when I put the oil cooler on the Volkswagen camper van with that big electric fan underneath. I actually want to make a timer that switches that on and off. So there's going to be a lot in that video to do with these little things. Relays. So I do go into quite a bit of depth in that about using them and where to put them, but not actually how they work. So this video I thought would be a good idea just to get on the bench, get a power supply out and a few little multimeters and a switch and actually get this thing fired up so you can see exactly what it does, where you should use one and why you should use one. So again, it's going to be another video on the bench, just watching my hands. So let's get to it. Okay, here we go. This is a bog standard 12 volt switching relay. Your car or your project will end up with hundreds of these things all over the place. So what does it do? It's really simple. If I put this down just here, look. Oh, you can't see that. Try there. Absolutely bog standard little 1 amp switch. That one's actually momentary. You push it, it comes on, you let go, it goes off. A bit like a horn button. So that switch there is only capable of switching 1 amp. Trouble is, all your devices, your horn in that one's case, or if you were to use a latching switch, so cooling fans, your Cree LED light bar on the top of your 4x4, anything like that, they're all taking 10, 20, 30 amps. So you can't use that switch to power it. So if you were to put the power into that switch and then across to your device, you would press the button and it would turn into smoke. It can't move enough current. But what it can do is switch one of these things. So if you look at this picture here, it says 85 and 86. Now that 85 and 86 is relevant to the pins underneath. We'll get to those in a second. But you can see there we've got the electronic symbol for a solenoid. So if you were to energise that, that solenoid would pull. When it pulls, we can see above it we've got pins. We've got 30 and 87, and there's a switch there. So when you energise that little solenoid, it pulls that switch. That switch on the top there is capable of switching 30 amps. So the little solenoid at the bottom takes, nothing at all. Immeasurable amounts of electric, next to nothing, way less than 1 amp. So by using this switch to pull this solenoid, we can use this relay to switch 30 amps. This is a 30 amp relay, 12 volts, 30 amps. You can get them much bigger. I've got some on the camper van on the glow plugs. I think they're 100 amp, either 1 or 200 amps, can't remember. But this is a standard 30 amp switching relay. When we look underneath, we've got the pins. 4 pins on this one, sometimes there's 5, sometimes there's even more than that. But this is a normally closed, hang on, I'm talking rubbish. This is a normally open relay. So it means, if I switch it round again, as that relay sits right now, between pins 30 and 87, there's no continuity. Okay, the switch is open because we haven't pressed the button yet. With power on it in a full circuit, when I press the button, we pull that solenoid, it drops in, we've now got continuity. So we can use that to put the feed onto your light bar, onto your cooling fans, onto your spotlights, anything. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set up a little circuit with a power supply and we're going to make it work. Okay, as you can see now, or maybe you can't see, I've got a little power supply here, and for reasons I don't understand, all of a sudden it only wants to generate 7 volts, but we'll deal with this, it doesn't matter, the circuit will still work. We're coming out of the positive side, through a little switch, into pin, let's have a look, 85, and out of 86 going back to ground on our power supply. So the power supply is basically simulating your car battery. So we've got a full circuit there, except we've got a switch breaking it. So if I now hold this up and press the button, you'll hear a click. So that's that solenoid clicking in and out that we were talking about before. So that's that little solenoid pulling and pushing that big solenoid that will switch 30 amps in and out. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install a a dummy load. In this case, I'm just going to make it turn on a multimeter so that you can see it working. So 2 seconds, we'll get that done. Okay, so things are looking decidedly more messy now. You can't half tell I'm working at home in the shed rather than in a proper workshop, but it should get the job done. So what we've got now is this wire here, the bigger wire, that's going round to pin 30 on the relay. So that now is to one side of a switch that's open, and on the other side, where this crocodile clip is, goes around to here onto this voltmeter. Let's pretend that this voltmeter is, for instance, a cooling fan that you want to put a switch on, and then the other side of your cooling fan just goes back to earth. It can be to the battery, it can be to the chassis, it doesn't make any difference. In this case we're going back to the power supply, but it could just as easily be the a chassis ground. It doesn't make any difference. So if this is all working correctly, I should be able to press this little button and that should light up. So we push the button and click, the relay pulls in, it pulls that 30 amp switching relay across to closed. It's allowing that positive feed to feed through the relay to the voltmeter and then back down to ground again. It's completing the circuit. So what that's basically meaning now is with this tiny little 1 amp switch, we've got the ability to switch 30 amps with it. There you go. It's a bit rough and ready, but if you've got any questions, by all means ask me. But that's the best we can do in the shed today. So stay tuned for the next video. It'll be this hopefully will help explain the next video quite a bit better. But apart from that, as always, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, smash that alarm button. I don't put videos up all the time. And I'm on Patreon now, so take a run over to the Patreon page, have a look what's going on over there. I'd never really had anything to do with that before, but it's actually quite interesting, so go and search me on that. So, yeah, until next time.